Hello, speed gamers. It is Captain of the Orcs here for a late ad on commentary. So here we are with Preucheu and HabKeineName in the semifinal round. Preucheu having to essentially do a double sudden death to be able to pull out the ultimate win on this one, as Hab gets up one game in a best of three. So Preucheu definitely has an uphill battle here today, and also the next game, depending on how this one goes. Alright, so here we are, 37 minutes in. We've had a lot happen here already. We just got past blown up the canal to open up to the greater world, and Hab already starting the Earth Cave dive, while Preucheu just about to enter. Very, very important part of the game here. This is pretty much the part in the game where levels are very important. After this, it becomes a lot easier to get where you need to go, but we're looking for the coveted level 12 to get that first Froga charge on our black mages here for Vampire. We could pull off a Froga Thundara for that kill, but ultimately we want both mages to be in that spot, as well as level 15 for the 3 Frogas for Lish. So we're going to see a lot of encounters being taken here. We have a lot of spells, a lot of ethers. Both runners bought a lot of ethers in prep for this dive, and are just spending the spells where they can. Looks like Preucheu's going to reset. I know Preucheu only went down with one Phoenix down. Gonna probably try to preserve that one Phoenix down here. Earth Cave, definitely the epitome of, make or break. We want to take plenty of encounters, but there's a lot of bad encounters that aren't really worth our time. So it's a matter of choosing which encounters we want to take. Such as these Pisco Demons, 2-packs. Some people take them, some people don't. Because right here is the epitome of that example, where it would take 2 Thundara spells, a mage could go down. Looks like Hab's going to decide to reset here, giving Preucheu a chance to catch up. Very close race. There's a lot of variance still left in here. Neither runner has had their Cockatrice fight yet, so we're still waiting. Oh wait, as I said it, here is Hab with the Cockatrice fight. Let's see how this goes. We are hoping to get the warrior and the monk petrified here. The monk being petrified first is great because the warrior has a higher chance of being targeted. So it's usually a little bit easier, but it looks like the jerk birds are making it a little bit tougher. One fleeing, that's not a great sign. Let's see. And there it is. So this is the team comp we're going to see for the majority of the rest of the game. 2 petrified melee characters to soak up damage, while our melee characters can AoE 1-shot, 2-shot stuff. Preucheu getting their Cockatrice fight. Looks like Warrior going down first on his screen. Oh, and a mage goes down too. This is one reason why we buy some extra gold needles. It's because of this. Can be a little scary if that extra mage goes down, because if everyone's petrified, that is a game over. But Preucheu getting out of that, getting level 13 here. I believe we're pre-vampire dive still. So being 13 is really great. Not exactly optimal. I mean, because in a normal speedrun, we want to be just right on the cusp. Having more levels is great, but we're really playing for time here. So being 13 is going to give Preucheu a lot of leeway to pick and choose which fights, as well as a second Froga charge, which is really great to see early on. Hab going into the Vampire fight. Vampire having 280 HP. Pretty much a pushover with those Frogas. Not much except for a physical attack, but for the most part, just a pushover overall. Opening the way for this lovely Star Ruby. Tasty. We'll see where we'll use that later on. Very enticing. Not much to eat down here in Earth Cave. Hopefully you brought some snacks. Go ahead and look at some HPs. So it looks like Preucheu has a mage still at 82, while Hab's looking really nice, around 130. Hopefully that cleans up a little bit. Later on, Lich can do some AoE spells as well, ranging in the low hundreds, with the toughest spell being Blizzara. And that's usually around the mid 130s. So we're hoping to see our mages be able to tank somewhere around there by the time we get back to Lich. Hab looking pretty good on levels. Preucheu probably hoping for some really good level ups. We are going into the vampire fight for Preucheu. Easy. Vampire doesn't even get a turn. Love to see it. Alright, so both our runners making our way out. What's nice about having high levels early on is we're going to make better use of our ether charges. If we get Frogger early on, then our ether will restore both a Thundar and a Frogger slot for a spell. So it's really nice having the Frogger early. Make better use of our ethers and usually lasts a lot longer. Both runners got, I believe, at least 25 ethers, so they should be sitting fairly nicely with the amount of ethers here, depending on how many fights they take. They both should still have a cottage. I don't believe either one of them sold it in Melmond. So they can use that cottage there, as well as possibly some tents. A few drops from some enemies down here in Earth Cave can also help us out. I believe it is the Hilgagas can drop a tent. Yep, so we can get tents from Hilgagas's. We decide to kill those. Alright, looks like Preucheu decided to use the 1 PD. No more Phoenix Downs left. I really like this fight here, this 3 Chiefs, 1 regular Ogre fight. Pretty good for guild, pretty good for experience. A little bit trickier though, as it does take 2 spells. Out of Earth Cave, taking the overworld encounters. Pretty much just free spell casts out here, as we do have those tents and cottages. We're kind of just spending those, as you can't use those down in the cave. We want to use up all of our spells out here, because we can full recharge with that cottage before we go back down. A lot of large packs here we can AoE. Get a lot of good gil, a lot of experience for Hab. Alright, in Giant's Cave for Hab's screen. Ooh, lovely Lester Tigers fight. 2 here. Takes 2 spells, but they have the chance of dropping an X potion. Something that we can't buy. We need to either pick up around the world or get it dropped here with the Sabers. Or sorry, not the Sabertooth, the Lesser Tigers. We're going to be using that later on at the gas fight. Very integral. The more we have, the better. And if we get 1 or 2 here, we can decide not to pick up the ones that take us out of the way later on. Preucheu out of Earth Cave, making the way to Giant's Cave. And Hab having given up that ruby to the Giant. No more snacks. Gave it up to the Giant here to just get by. Making the way down to Sardis Cave. Sardis, some weird old man hiding out in a cave, holding the key, or in this case, an earth rod, that's going to allow us to venture farther down. You may wonder why we left when there was more room left over in Earth Cave. It's because we need this lovely rod to essentially crowbar open a slab and make our way down to the lower levels of Earth Cave. Yep, exactly. The HAB on Preucheu's screen is definitely the Canadian hockey team and has no reference to the other runner in this run. You were quite right. You getting the Earth Rod. Still a very, very tight race. I'm getting last encounter for the Earth Cave Dive. Chu has at least 4 more encounters. Yes, Preucheu, very big Canadian hockey fan. I'll be using up that cottage, getting that full heal, getting all the HP back and all the spells back. Compared to Tent's a little bit different. They have limitations. Cottages are a full restore. Tents are going to give you, as we see on Preucheu's screen, 200 HP, but at the moment it's basically a full heal, as well as 2 spell charges per spell level. That means something very nice in this situation. Preucheu has 2 Fragas already. So, depending on usage here, we could see maybe another tent. We have about 4 Thundars, maybe 5. At this point, we'll see. We'll see on levels. But could opt for a second tent instead of a cottage. A little slight variation in routing. And now we have our dive back down on hub screen. Again, looking for that already level 15. Whoa. Preucheu at 14. So pretty much neck and neck on levels. Hub getting some nice HP. We're seeing 154 and 160 on those mages. Monk looking a little low. We're hoping that Monk out HPs the mages, as it is getting levels while it is petrified. So a little bit of a downside here on hub screen. I would say that's probably the uphill battle for levels. Is going to be getting that HP on the Monk. Meanwhile, Preucheu has a 154 and a 106. Not bad for a Earth Cave dive, but safety reasons, we're looking for a little more HP. We don't exactly have hard hats here. Those straw hats on the mages' heads are made out of straw. One stray rock and down goes those mages. So Preucheu looking to grab some hard hat health at this point. Level 15 on Preucheu, so both runners have the requisite levels. One other thing we're looking for is a 30 intellect on our mages. That's going to allow their spells to do 50% more damage, I believe. Hoping to see that. That's going to allow us a 3-turn Lish. Otherwise, we're going to have to cast some Thundara spells. You might be wondering when we get our 4th charge of Fraga. It is quite late. I believe it is level 18. Let me take a quick gander. Yep, level 18 is our 4th charge. So quite late. Very rare you're going to see that. Yeah, you're really going to see that. You'd have to take pretty much all the fights in here or be over-leveled by this point. In normal speedrun, you're not going to see level 18. You might see level 16. 17, very rare, but 18 is like hardly ever kind of idea. Oh, we're talking about levels. We're good for levels, but what the runners should probably have in the back of their mind is Gil. So we have a very major buy happening here after. 2 spells or 1 spell we're gonna have to pick up twice for each mage. Gonna cost us 26k. Both runners around 26. I think Preucheu's at 26. Hobbs at 27. We want to be able to buy that spell as well as more supplies. So pretty much at the point of any extra money here is going towards supplies. Lich is going to drop 3k gil, so they'll have a little bit to work with, but the more the merrier. A lot of good fights down here. Those cockatrices, you might see them running, but those are a pretty lucrative fight if we get a large pack. 200 gil per. Pisco demons in comparison are going to drop us a cool 300 per, so this 3-pack is 900 gil. We can also get some mummies, they also drop 300 gil per. Those wraiths dropping 231. Minotaurs 489. Hilgegas is being really great with that 879. So a lot of good gil drops you can pick in here. Pretty much every fight's gonna have something, other than this one here on Preucheu's screen. Nice preempt to get away quickly. We're essentially trading in on our spell charges for a little bit of experience, but quite a bit of gil. Preemptive on trolls can go down with 1 Faraga if you high roll. Looks like Preucheu has enough intellect. In the background, intellect you start with 20 on these mages. 30 you get a big bump in damage, but in between you get a little bit added. So we see 1-2 extra points of damage. Not too much is going on until we hit that 30. Strange that they do it that way, but I mean, those are the breaks, kid. Preucheu down to the 5th floor. Hob might have one more encounter here. Yep, before Lich. Very close. All it takes is one bad Lich encounter, and this race could either be tied or very much fall further apart. Lich can do a double AoE cast here. That can slow us down greatly. No amount of health grinding is going to save you from a double AoE. So what we're hoping to see here is we're seeing haste. Hope to see some slows. Hope to see some holds that miss. Anything that's not an AoE spell. Even physical attacks aren't going to hit too hard. Lich hits like a wet noodle. There's that first AoE. Double fire. Unfortunate to see. Not much you can do about it. Hob set up to tank a Blizzara spell, but pretty much at this point, double AoE, you're not going to survive. We're not at that point yet. We don't have ribbons to block some of that elemental damage. We don't have the HP either to tank that. So yeah, we're pretty much synced up here now. All it took was one nasty Lich. I'm not doing so great with that slept mage. It's going to take an extra turn here for sure now. Giving Preucheu a slight advantage. Yep, Lich not knowing that slow is not really going to do much. A little oblivious to that. Lich going down first on Preucheu's screen. Preucheu, having come back after all this time, I believe it's been 18 minutes for me being here. 18 minutes, Preucheu now in the lead by a few seconds. Whoa. Alright, now we're going to go off on a lovely adventure now to find a bunch of things. You thought the first part of the game was great, finding a bunch of things? Well, the second part of the game is even better. Might see a slight variation here. We'll see on that. Let's see what Preucheu decides to do here. Are we going to see a tent? Are we going to see a complete disregard for any OSHA safety standards? Looks like that's the case. No sleep for the workers. No going into town. Let's see what Hob decides to do. Hob might be going in town with that pathing. We'll see. Preucheu sailing around the cape. We're going to see our first world wrap of the game. You can world wrap in this game, so we're going to end up here on the eastern side of that map fairly shortly. Hobbs looking like it's going to use the in. Get those spell charges back, get some health back. Yeah, stuff can very much so go back and forth very easily here. Depends on the fights, especially the Cockatrice fight. I think Preucheu had a much better fight than Hob and a much better Lish. Looks like Hobbs going to be picking up those silver armlets. Has a 15 absorb and a -1 to evasion. We're going to see less misses, but we're going to be able to absorb more damage on those mages. In this commentator's humble opinion, silver armlets, nice to have. Definitely don't need them, but very much nice to have. Could be the make or break in this race. Who knows? We will see. Let's walk to Crescent Lake. Some good encounters here, as we'll see. We're hoping to see that 4-pack of Onkegs. Anything else is pretty good, but Onkegs being great. Not much gil for a 4-pack of Onkegs. Give me 1,200, but if we do get that, it was almost 5,000 experience. Very nice this early in the game. Unfortunately, we don't see that on Preucheu's screen. We're going to sleep here, going to grab some items, going to grab some spells, and then find the only man in the circle of sages that gives more than just kind words to us. No more cryptic words. What he does is he shoves a lump of wood into a boat. A lump of wood into our hand and says, here's a boat. Here's a canoe. A lot of potions. What you could do here is buy some high potions, or just stock down on those potions. Dealer's choice. But you definitely need that 26k for Thundagas. Later on, some people decide to go with a single Blizzaga, but here, double Thundaga is pretty much the only way to go. I'm using the inn. Preucheu getting that canoe from that that wise old man. This is going to allow us to have a new way of travel upon rivers. First, we have to sail to the river. Having gotten some items, going to pick up those spells. River can be quite scary. A lot of things can hit you hard here. We're hoping on that those petrified characters take the blunt of the river's ire. But they can one-shot in this scenario. It's a nice low roll from a Piranha. Preucheu here looking to not have hit the nth level. Yep. So we need a Thundar and Thundaga. Otherwise, if we hit that 30 intelligence by now, just one Thundaga can pretty much take out the majority of everything on this river, other than Neo-Ochu's. Neo-Ochu's a great fight by itself. Can be a little scary, but one of the best pound-for-pound enemies on the river. These 4-packs can be kind of nice. 6-packs, 8-packs. Everything on the river gives a good amount of gil, gives a good amount of experience. So anything's kind of worth taking, in some sense. Maybe not the single Ochu. A lot of good encounters here, as we're looking to accelerate. Nothing we're really looking to hit level-wise. We need to be level 16 to get that first Thundaga spell. We want Blizzaga spells later on. Not entirely important. The only thing we are looking for is by the time we get to Kraken to have 3 Thundaga spells. Well, let's take a look at what level we need to be for that. Looks to be level 19. So not too far off. Kraken is way in the distance, a lot more experience. But I think we're still in the part of the game where the name of the game is Gil. We want HP. HP is nice, but Gil is the ultimate outcome, because HP is kind of a suggestion, as not every level gives us a good HP up. But now we're going to see maybe 2 HP per level. We want to be seeing those 2025s though. So it's just a roll of the dice at this point. Let's go ahead and return to our HP levels. Looks like 160 on everybody that's important on Hab's screen. Meanwhile, Preucheu has a 184 mage, a 112 mage, and a 267 monk. So definitely the complete opposite. Preucheu has a little bit better on one mage, but the bottom mage not so nice. But ultimately that monk is where we need that HP to be. You could do whatever you want for chaos, but at the end of the day, those mages are going to die. Having more HP is nice, but it's just a suggestion. Like Hab got some good level ups. We're looking at 180 on those mages. Looking good. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we want our monk by chaos to be 300 to 350. 399 being optimal with our giant tonics. So we can hit that max HP of 999 with a full heal. And our mages, we want somewhere north of 240. 300 is great at that point. Chaos being able to cast Flare, doing in the 300s. Lich being able to cast Flare. But ultimately, it's a little bit too much to ask from the game. You'll see it sometimes, but not all the time. We want to be able to survive those high roll tsunamis, cyclones, as they will do in the lower 200s. So surviving one of those or a couple of the lower level spells is nice. And it all pretty much lines up around 240. A little bit pixelated, but I believe Hab has the monk now up to 180 as well. So, not too bad. The monk will definitely need to catch up, but the mages are in a really good spot. They do have at least one more level where it's going to force them to take 20 HP. So they'll be at least 200 by the end of the game. That doesn't mean that they won't be higher than that, again, because they can get some random high good HP rolls. But normally we're going to see the low rolls of 1 to 3 HP, good high rolls somewhere between 19 to 25. Preucheu facing the ultimate test of this dungeon. The Evil Eye goes down in one hit. Great experience, great gil. In older versions, this trap tile you could keep taking and pretty much just farm here. Be where you need to be. But in the Pixel Remaster, since it's linked to the Levy Stone, you can only take that fight once. Meanwhile, this fight here that we keep falling down into, you can take as many times as you can fall through that hole. Not exactly a great fight. It guarantees a 9-pack, but quite out of the way to run around and fall down a hole again. I would say the true boss of this dungeon is that white dragon there. You can see that. Or sometimes these winter wolves. They can do Ice Storm, each doing a separate version. The winter wolves not doing so much damage, but with a large pack they can pretty much eat through your health rather quickly. The white dragons, you can get a 2-pack, and it will do about 100 damage. So if they both decide to Ice Storm, there's nothing you can do. Except for reset and try again. Got Hab going into the Evil Eye encounter. Gets a nice early Faraga. Down goes this boss. Some people say Vampire's the easiest boss. I would say Evil Eye should definitely be on that list. It can cast Silence, which can make that encounter a little bit awkward as you can't cast anything anymore. But for the most part, that's not going to happen. I mean, that's essentially the same thing as if As if Vampire punches one of the mages in the face. Preucheu out of Ice Cave. They call it a levy stone, but I like to call it the levy seed. We're going to just chuck it in the ground in the desert, and out of it is going to grow an airship. If you look between the panels of both of these runners, you'll see this lovely picture of an airship. That is the one we're getting. Radisson chat, giving good luck to not only Florida runners, but everyone. Thank you, Bradish. I don't think either of these runners are from Florida, but who knows. For anybody in chat wondering if there are any Final Fantasy runners from Florida, I know of at least 2. Not for Final Fantasy 1, but they do exist. So it's not just a myth. Yeah. Alright, Hob getting out of Ice Cave. Meanwhile, Preucheu's gonna go plant a seed in the ground. There is no Cid in Final Fantasy 1. I believe they, in post, they decided to retroactively add some reference to Cid, is what I heard. I haven't seen it myself. But there is no Cid in Final Fantasy 1. So this airship is just some airship. Some relic. Alright, our last mode of transportation in the game. Gonna plant that lovely seed. Stick that in the ground. And just like Jack and the Beanstalk, we got Preucheu in the airship. Out sprouts an airship. Ready to go. Whoa. Preucheu now heading down some nice diagonal directions. Look like to be going to Cardia Isles. Lovely stuff here. Bunch of gil. Some good equipment. Oh, you gonna skip the gil? Gonna get the bigger chests? Nope, gonna get all the gil. Just decides to go to the other side of the map first. Okay. About 15k in this first cave. The other cave has about 1k. More importantly, it has an X potion. Preucheu go in the second cave. The second cave, not as many items, not as much gil. You can have an elixir, 1k gil in a chest, as well as a cottage. If you sell the cottage, that's 1,000 gil, so you can think of it like 2,000. Meanwhile, on Hob screen, we see this nice new story. Shot-for-shot remake of Preucheu and the airship. We're going to get Hob in the airship. Preucheu not going to pick up the cottage in 1k. Understandable. Have a nice day. Head on over now to Waterfall Cave. This is also a river. We're going to get the same encounters we see on the other river. But now we have much higher levels. Level 21 now for Preucheu. Giving us a lot of Thundagas. By the time you reach level 20 on your mages, you are assured to have 30 intellect. Just by all the forced intellect levels. So, one Thundaga doing the job. But you can also Thundar if you want. Those Hydras, we're just on the line where we might underroll on the Hydras with the Thundaga, unfortunately. But Thundar does the trick. Meanwhile, Hob looks to have gone the haste, I believe. Now grabbing that X potion. All that gil. I'm a fan of not getting X potions early on in the game. Because you get a lovely chance to get a whole bunch of gil at this point. And the next time we hit a shop is pretty much going to be the last time we hit that shop. But getting those X potion drops, we don't have to go to the aisles, can save time. But neither runner got an X potion drop. We hardly saw any lesser tigers, I believe. Looks like Hob is not going to pick up that elixir. Did Hob get an X potion drop? I wonder. Meanwhile, Preucheu, all the way, just quickly making his way through Waterfall Cave. Some good encounters, but at the end we have this forced encounter. But more importantly, a whole bunch of chests and a warp cube. Whoa, what are we going to do with that? By now, HPs are looking really good for both characters. Each has a slight advantage on the other. Hob's got more mage HP, but Preucheu definitely has the better monk HP. So we'll see how those HP levels progress throughout the rest of the game. Still have a lot of time, a lot of encounters we can take. Preucheu, if we use Preucheu as a benchmark at level 21, you can pretty much get to Chaos and be about 28 pretty easily. So about 7 more levels. 1 more good level up for the mages. I believe 2 for the monk. Oh, this is a lovely encounter. Let's talk about this. Green Dragon. If you are looking for any encounter in the game to scream, "Take me," it is Green Dragon. 2 Thundagas to kill now, 1 Blizzaga later on, but has the greatest drop of almost 5,000 experience, 5,000 gil. So seeing those is pretty much a no-brainer. Take this fight if you need it, as they can hurt you pretty bad. Later on in Temple of Fiends, we can get 4 of those, giving us a beautiful amount of experience. Let me go ahead and track this down and give you some very accurate numbers. Green Dragon experience 4,068. The only thing having more of that you might see is a soldier. We don't see him in 4-packs though. Rioses. That was the one. Rioses. You see a good pack of those with chimeras later on. But Green Dragons being just a lovely fight. The only thing better than seeing a Green Dragon fight, if you're looking to actually take it, would be the War Mech. 32,000 gil, 32,000 experience. Whoa. If you can kill that, you're pretty much set. By then, we usually don't need that, so it's, if you see it, we're going to see probably some pleas. And it's a very rare encounter. Alright, Preucheu out, as well as Hobbs exiting. We're heading over to Gaia. But first, quick stop to talk to a random man in this desert tile, hidden desert tile, at the caravan. He has a nice bottled fairy that he got from Link to the Past. For those of you watching the Link runs, they just reached on over into one of those runs and stole a bottle. So we need to buy that from him, and we're going to use that to progress. Don't pay attention to the Giant's Tonics or speed drinks that were bought. That's just an inconsequential buy. Will definitely not be an integral part to the rest of our run. We head off into Gaia. Turning to that ferry to Link to the Past, we can now continue with Final Fantasy. Like Preucheu doing a quick heal and ether, so I'm probably going to skip any type of in. In does take a little bit of time, ether is a little bit quicker. We got that Blizzagas, dual Blizzagas we can use quite reliably. Looks to be going to the defense shot. We're buying 3 Protect Rings. Protect Rings going to be able to absorb a little. It's going to work a little bit like Ribbon, where it will protect us from some things. It'll do some things. Also, in my opinion, a nice to have Don't necessarily need it. But with 13k, Preucheu can get quite a lot. I imagine Preucheu's going to do one last buy, because Phoenix Downs must not be pretty high on the inventory list at this point. So we'll probably see another buy at Onrock as we come out of Sea Shrine. Hob gotten that bottled fairy, while Preucheu is reaping the reward of releasing that fairy. Getting a nice rebreathing device, the Soxiao. Allow us to dive down into the sunken shrine. You might say, this looks pretty familiar. We were just here, and we were. Looks like Preucheu gonna force an encounter here. Lovely intellect. You see we're doing 270 now instead of 180. Forcing that encounter will give us more steps when we get in the Sea Shrine. So probably preferring the encounter out here to any encounter inside. Meanwhile, Hob's buying. Looks like has about 14k, so pretty similar to Preucheu. You don't need much for Sea Shrine. Also, not a lot of Phoenix Downs. Probably will go ahead and buy again at Onrock. Alright, Preucheu taking this white shark fight. Kind of lucrative on experience. The regular sharks were very lucrative early game. White sharks very lucrative late game. Sea Shrine, great place to get experience. A lot of good encounters. A lot of things we can take later on in the game. Pretty much everything in the game from now on is going to have a good amount of experience. We can take with a variety of means. The majority of Sea Shrine, Blizzaga, and Thundaga doing the work of a one-turn cast. There's a few things, such as these water elementals, that will drop from only Blizzaga. Thundaga's not doing enough. Very lucrative fight. Almost 2,000 experience. Not really needing to worry about Gil anymore. We did that Gaia buy. That's our last real penny pinching buy. After this, we can go back and do another buy, because we'll have more than enough money. The name of the game here, towards the end of the game, is High Potions, Ethers, and Phoenix Downs. Normally, by the time we hit Temple of Fiends, we want to have about 50 High Potions, 40 Ethers, and 20 PDs to be very safe. That's kind of like on the mid-safety range. There's a possibility you could need more, as we've seen before. But usually pretty safe, but the more we have, the better. So we'll probably see another buy before we head off to get the remainder of those Phoenix Downs. Late game, a lot of deaths are going to happen. There's not much we can do about it, except for prep with those Phoenix Downs. Deep Eyes, the best experience fight here in the game for one enemy. Very nice paired with a white shark. Preucheu having gone down, gotten the lovely Diamond Armlet and Slab. I don't know what we're going to do with those. Diamond Armlet, the best protection item we can get in the game. At this point, it pretty much eliminates any type of physical damage we would take, down to almost one damage. So very lucrative to put on a mage here, to kind of limit the amount of damage we do, or that we take. This Sahagin fight, not too lucrative as you see, 1700, probably one of the weakest fights, but we fail fleas on that, that's a lot of enemies. We have to wait for their turn to get our flea again. So almost a necessity to just cast those Thundagas here. By now we have definitely enough ethers to take every single fight we want. Or we could flee. And sometimes there's not a good way to kind of judge whether we should run or take the fight. Taking the fight, we obviously get more gil, more experience, but if we can get that just immediate flee, that's just pure time save. So, 10-1 really. In a race scenario, it's probably better to take your fights than flee. But it really all depends. So at the end of the day, when we come to Chaos, Chaos could let you by with minimum HP, or can hold you up when you have very high HP. But definitely having more HP at Chaos is better, so it's what we can prep for. And I think that's what both of our runners are doing here by taking a plethora of fights. Preucheu, having done the required fight, gotten the Giant's Glove. Again, another item, no consequence, just a random pickup we don't at all need at the end of the game for Chaos. But that ribbon there, that ribbon is a great item. It eliminates half of our elemental damage we're going to be taking. So it's going to be our spell protection. Not really great against physical hits, but that spell protection, it's going to be a lifesaver. And Preucheu making their way on this final floor to Kraken. Kraken on the list for just a pushover of a fight. No AoE spells at this stage of the game. Can cast Ink. Ribbon's going to protect against that, but I mean, blind mages can still cast magic. Can do a physical attack, that's what we're hoping not to see. The physical attack can pretty much just slap down those mages. Yeah, he can do 8 attacks by this point, doing very close to 300 damage. Those mages definitely can't. Those mages can't take those hits. Sorry about that. But for the most part, what we could do is just throw a PD, as a physical attack is unlikely to hit. So the game has single targeting preferences. Top slot, which the warrior's in, 50%. The monk, that second slot's 25%, and then the bottom 2 slots split up at 12.5%. If a character is dead in the other slots, it will re-roll until it fills. So you can almost think about it like a proportional re-roll. So if there's nothing in that first slot, then the odds greatly go up and proportionally redistribute to the other 3 slots, and so on and so forth. But right now, 75% of the hits are targeted to the top, making it a very easy fight, as we see on Preucheu's screen. 6 Thundaga casts, down goes Kraken. So we have 3 main elements here. We have the ice, fire, and lightning. We can use all those on every boss. Well, on 3 of the bosses, that is. Lich, we have Faraga. Kraken, we have Thundaga. But, Malaius, you'd rarely see it, but Blizzaga can also do it in 3 turns. Tiamat, not much of a recourse there. Alright, we saw Preucheu did go back to Onrock to buy up those Phoenix Downs. We should not see any more shopping for the rest of the game. We should be done. Down on Preucheu screen. Kind of a obligatory now movement. We have Preucheu going to take on the other fiends. We don't really need to grab anything else. Other than this item right here. You remember that slab we grabbed? Oh, wait. Wait. What is this? A late silver armlet buy. We have so much gil. We can go ahead and buy it here. Interesting choice. Alright. So Preucheu now talking to Dr. Un. That slab we picked up earlier. What is it? Oh, it is the Rosetta Stone. We're going to be able to learn many things. One of them being that Dr. Un likes to hang around these gravestones at the northern side of town. But also, being a linguist, we're able to learn Lufinian in record time. Wow. We are world-class scholars. But unfortunately, scholar is not a job type we can pick in this game. You'll have to go all the way to Final Fantasy III for that. Headed off now to use this newfound knowledge to pick up item. We learn Lufinian. Why? Why do we do that? To talk to Lufinians, of course. Meanwhile, Hobbs got this last encounter right before Kraken. Looks to have set up spells, so easy Thundaga cast at Kraken. Chu heading down to Lufinia. Bunch of pushover fights here in the forest. Most of them weak to Faraga, as we see. Decent experience, but you don't exactly need it. Alright. What are we doing here? Get in the chime. So earlier we got the warp cube, which allows us to transition between the Mirage Tower and the Flying Fortress. But there's no way to get in. There's no keys to the castle. Now we have it. The Flying Fortress used to be home to the Lufinians. Chime's the key. Hob Kraken going down. Hob will be close behind. Probably picking up the chime. You do have an option at this point, as we have gotten the items to go to the Flying Fortress. We could go to the volcano. In fact, the volcano is open as early as Postalish. We get that airship, we can go fight Malirith, or Carrie, if you are an NES fan. Very early in the game. But seeming that there's not a complete reason why we need it. Why not take her last and just flee from everything? So I think that's what both of our runners are going to do here. We're going to go ahead and take Tiamat. And then just laugh as we run through Mount Gulag. As I said earlier, a lot of lucrative fights still left over. But definitely some fights we don't need, such as this one on Preucheu's screen. We've seen this Faraga flee. What's becoming more commonly known as the split decision. Essentially, alright, if Faraga casts, then that's, you know, bye-bye enemies. Easy end of turn. But if we get the flee off, because we don't exactly need this encounter, then so be it. So, a little bit non-committal. That allows us a quick flee if the game decides to give us that flee. As in Final Fantasy 1, fleas are not guaranteed. Alright. We have Hob heading down. Haven't gotten that slab translated. Meanwhile, Preucheu is closing in on the teleporter. Blue Dragons. Green Dragon's close cousin. Not as lucrative a fight, but Blizzaga in hand, we can shoot it down pretty easily. 2 casts. Here we are having teleported into the Flying Fortress. A few more pickups to go. As well as some very slight RNG on our final bridge. I'm not sure if we have Rokeby in chat, but I know Rokeby, being the biggest Warmech fan, would probably be hoping to see a Warmech on that Bridge of Destiny. Let's check in on some experience here. Preucheu screen, we have 350 HP on that monk, basically, which is where we want to be. 280 on one mage and 220 on the other. Meanwhile, Hob has 270, 200, and 200. Hob still has a little bit of an upward battle for that monk HP, where meanwhile Preucheu has seemed to found some really good HP ups in a nice position. Probably want a little more HP on that bottom mage, but we're definitely in a position where we could take on Chaos now and not be wanting of much. Those Giant's Tonics we picked up earlier. Giant's Tonics in a battle scenario, it doesn't last after you're out of battle or if the character dies, but it expands the upper limits of health for a character by 200. So with 3 of those, we can get that monk as close as we can to 999. Cast a full restore, and then boom. That monk is the tankiest character we'll have had in the entire game. For juice green, we have picked up, I believe, the ribbon at this point. We are unpetrifying that monk, popping him into a 12.5 slot, giving him the diamond armlet, giving him a ribbon, giving him a protect ring. Actually, we already picked up a ribbon, so this is right before the Bridge of Destiny. He's going to be integral towards the rest of the game, as everything we fight has a lot of HP. The monk we can easily buff and get him buff to do well over 1,000 damage. With Chaos in this version having 20,000 health, the last stage of the game, it is very important. One of the main reasons why we have this team comp is because in this version Chaos has 20,000 health. Otherwise, we would probably go with a safer route of a white mage and not have to worry a lot about things. Tiamat 1 being probably the scariest of the late stage bosses. Has a lot of things in their arsenal. That physical attack hitting that stone fighter at the top is probably your best case scenario. 200 damage to that top mage not dying is also a really good scenario. Gives us a lot of turns to buff up the monk. Still biting. Wow. Preucheu going for some safety strats, throwing that high potion not needed. And down goes Tiamat, having not cast any spells. Wow. I will need to pull up the percentage chance on this to see where we lie. Because that is insane. Tiamat having a about 43% chance to attack. And then an equal chance, about 15 almost, of Ice Storm Blaze, Poison Gas, and Thunderbolt, each doing over 100 damage, or therefore very close to. Within 3 of those, everybody's dead, usually. So that's what we're hoping not to see. The physical attacks worked out really well for Preucheu through Tiamat 1. That's a really big deal. Hob probably hoping to have that same luck, as Tiamat 1 can be pretty nasty sometimes. Preucheu now heading up, doing another world wrap. Gonna head up to Mount Glug. Glug, glug, glug. Where it is essentially just optimum pathing is how we're going to save time. Very tight split itself when you are speedrunning. About 4 minutes. No real way to save more time other than just getting faster fleas. Interesting movement on Preucheu's screen, as you probably won't get an encounter in the first couple tiles you touch. But as you can tell, you don't get encounters on any of the fire tiles. You take damage instead. It increases the encounter threat. But you don't take it. So if you can skip all those gets to the stairs, you can actually skip an encounter. And so choosing to use the movement very late in that floor looked to work out pretty well for Preucheu. I really much like that variation of the steps. So name of the game here in Mount Gulag is eliminate as many counters as you can of taking, as well as very quick fleas. We're hoping not to see large packs, as that will eat into a lot of time. We don't really care too much about ambushes as long as it's small packs, like such as that one lava worm. We just want those quick fleas, but you're getting very nice fleas here. Meanwhile, Hab about to enter the last floor of Flying Fortress. Preucheu's on the last floor of Mount Gulag. Malalath pretty much being a pushover at this point, having about 1400 health. The lowest, other than Lich, which has 1200. But pretty low at this point. 2 turns, you can kill Malalath with good turn order. Not doing much, but she can swing with her swords and do quite a bit of damage. That's the only thing we're hoping not to see. Preucheu having switched Monk to top slot for the encounters in the Volcano. Looks to have left on this encounter, so we have a higher threat of being targeted. Oh, but just being a wet noodle and only doing 76 and 90 damage. Wow. Meanwhile, Hab's getting those AoE casts we talked about from Tiamat. We're seeing Ice Storm. And also the Monk is in second slot, so we'll be targeted more. Seeing a double Ice Storm. As you can see now, everybody's below 3 digits. Hab did decide to throw a high potion onto that Monk, which is really good here. Allow him to survive at least one more turn. Unfortunately, didn't get good turn order for that second punch. Meanwhile, Preucheu, having finished Glug, is going to head off to Chaos Shrine. And we talked about Link to the Past earlier. Now we're in Ocarina of Time. We are time travelers. We're pulling the sword from the stone, so to speak, or more like putting it back in. We're going to be getting that crystal using our crystals. And heading off 2,000 years into the past. So notice the bats here. We have bats in the past. No bats. Lore has it those bats are from the present time now, or past in the whole game, are Lufinian heroes that failed to defeat Chaos. I'm now going in for another attempt of Tiamat 1. Good luck. Not what we'd hope to see on Tiamat, having bitten that mage down to 1 HP, but able to essentially get a free turn from the AoEs. Overall, less damage done. A nice bite to that top warrior. We're going to be able to get all of our buffing off on the Monk, and be in a really good spot to just start punching. able to kill Tiamat, which is really nice here. Luckily, we got an Ice Storm. Poison Gas might have killed off the monk in that scenario. Very nice here to have over 300 health at Tiamat. A lot harder when it's underneath, but you can still definitely kill off Tiamat 1, as we saw on top screen. Preucheu having killed the forced encounter of the Death Eye gives 1 experience, 1 gil. There's another character in the game that gives low gil, or is it low experience? But it's definitely not a precedent. What character is that? I believe it's the Desert Barada. Yeah, 1 gil, but a bunch of experience. In this case, that Death Eye has 1 gil and 1 experience, but has a chance to drop an elixir. Very low chance, but you can see it. Luckily, there's another elixir to the top right before we head down. Yep, and all second bosses give 1 gil as well. Thank you very much, Luki Pookie G. They all give 1 gil and 2,000 experience. So if we don't take any fights here, our monk survives. Our monk is going to get at least a fair share of 2,000 experience, if not more. Usually we have some mages die on these fights. So the monk has a chance to usually get at least 1 more level just by the fiends themselves here. Good point out, Luki. If you sell the ribbon, you will be rewarded with a lovely, lovely 1 gil as well. Very important item in the game, but doesn't give you much for gil. Hob, we saw, has had a nice floor for a 2nd floor. Good movement. Heading through Mount Gulug. The legends foretold that sometimes, on very rare occasions, you might see a flooded Mount Gulug where instead of lava tiles, it's usually just very hot, red, dyed water. That still does damage to you, unfortunately. Preucheu making it to Lich 1. Lich 1, before having Blazara, has another spell. As we talked about earlier, we already talked about it. It is Flare. But we're going to do the same old story of buffing the monk. We're going to be punching and hoping to not see that flare. Very solid Lich 1. Nobody down. Hardly any, if any, damage was done. Yeah, no one took any damage on Lich 1. Wow, not even a physical attack. Very nice to see. Lich 1 having Flare. We're going to see Kraken, we're going to see Tiamat, and we are going to see Malirith, hoping not to get punched. As Hobbs probably not hoping to get punched here on Carry 1. Not sure if we'll see it in time. Oh, we have both versions, past and present, of Carry here on screen. As Carry 1 goes down to Hob screen, Preucheu is buffing up for the Carry 2 fight. One could say that Hob and Preucheu are working together to simultaneously take down the past and present to secure our future. We saw a punchy Carry 2 there, taking out one of the mages. Luckily, the monk is undamaged, able to finish that fight. As we talked about earlier, if you die, you lose all your Giant Atomics. If you also die, you're going to lose those Temper buffs, Giant's Gloves buffs, and Haste buff. So pretty much a downed monk at this point in the game, after we start buffing, usually means a reset of that boss. A little hard to come back from. We're on probably one of the most annoying floors in the game, the C floor, where Kraken resides. Again, a lot of good experience on this floor, but a lot of large packs of enemies. Here we see a 5 water elemental, 1 water Naga. It's going to take 2 Blizzagas to kill. 1 Blizzaga will take out all those water elementals, while Naga is going to take 2. Most likely we'll see a flea here, but who knows. Very lucrative fight if you decide to take it. Oh, Preucheu failed the first flea, but then fleed before that second Blizzaga went off. Unfortunate for experience, good for that flea. There's another lucrative fight here with the 2 deep eyes. Unfortunately, casting here isn't going to clear the fight in 1 spell. Or any enemies, for that matter. Alright, we have Preucheu on to Kraken. Hab here having just entered. Kraken one of the same. Has Thundara as a spell now. But that main thing is we saw that 581 hit damage. Or sorry, 518. What we're not hoping to see. Gonna take a few more buffs. That monk able to tank a hit. Very nice to see. Lovely. That's what we're hoping to see, that ink, as it doesn't affect anyone at this point. Ribbon is ink resistant, believe it or not. Down goes Kraken 2. Here's that full pack of green dragons we're seeing on Hab's screen. Very lucrative for experience. Unfortunately, the monk was not alive to see it. A little bit of a heartbreaker. Another good one here, the 4 purple worms. Worms being very lucrative, having 4,344. We'll take 2 spells to kill though, so green dragon's a little bit better. Tiamat 2. Probably one of the characters that didn't get a good buff as they grew older. Has a lot of weaker spells now, has a lot more health. But can be a little bit of a pushover. A nice change to Tiamat 1. We have a little bit more health here as well. A little bit easier to take on. As you can see, Thundara doing only 50. Compared to before when we had those poison gases of 150. It's a nice change. Nice change of pace. Yeah, the flea to kill Kraken over his shoulder. The disrespect. Yes. Oh, unfortunate. A bad Tiamat 2. That monk going down kind of forces us to reset, giving Hab a little more time to catch up. Quick bite to the first mage once again. As we talked about, that's going to restructure the odds of each slot being targeted for a single target spell or attack. That's essentially going to turn it into a, I believe, from a 50, 12, and 12 to a, I think it's 66 in first slot, and then about 17% for the other two slots. Another bite to the monk. Very unfortunate turn of events for both these teammates. Bites. Preucheu essentially just going to attack here to force damage to be taken on that bottom mage. Attempt 2 of Tiamat 2. Attempt 3, excuse me, of Tiamat 2 for Preucheu. Much better opener with a low-level AoE spell. Going to allow us to buff up that monk. Meanwhile, HabKeineName got a large pack of golems he's choosing to take. Lucrative for experience. Unfortunately takes 2 spells, but I believe that that monk is definitely hindering Hab at this point, having essentially 293, I believe now. Much lower than we'd like to see. Some low hits here. It's going to take probably 4 hits. But luckily, all we're seeing is spells. That monk's going to do enough. Tiamat 2 down for Preucheu. 1 encounter and 1 good chaos. It stands between Preucheu and a kill screen. Hab, having just gotten to Lich floor, has some time if we get some bad chaos encounters. Chaos has been known to allow you to get him back down to 1 punch left till his death, and then to just punch you in the face himself. Or Curaja, and then punch you in the face. A lot of different things. Chaos definitely knows how to troll you. So we'll see how that ends up here on Preucheu's screen today. Chaos is going to run you about 2 minutes. We could see a sub 2 from Preucheu. Hab, having gotten a flare, unfortunate. The monk having such low health, didn't survive at all. So Hab just essentially just waiting for death from another flare. Gonna have to take Lich again. Alright, so here what we're seeing, very good first turn as Chaos decided to target the Petrified character. We're going to see that monk buffed up to as much HP as we can pop him. In this case, it's 986. We're going to throw a haste to double his hits. We're going to throw an X potion to max out his health, and then just start buffing him once again. A little bit different here, we have some speed drinks. Speed drinks giving him 2 extra hits per speed drink. So get his hit count up higher so that he has more hits, can do more damage. Temper to raise his attack. Giant's Club to raise his accuracy and his attack. Accuracy, much slower than speed drinks, but will slowly raise his hit amount as well. We're hoping for 32 hits from this monk, along with a just as close to max attack as we can get. Usually we're looking somewhere between 4 to 6k. We might see some 3k hits depending on how much we can buff before we start doing anything. Chaos deciding to Curaja, resetting the clock. But we're still getting those buffs off, those temper offs from the bottom mage. So that monk is just getting beefier and beefier the more we go. 4k is going to allow us to end this fight pretty quickly. 2 more hits left. And I believe this is down on Chaos. Yep, a 156.19.5 for Preucheu. GG, Preucheu. GG. Very nice Chaos. Love to see it. Meanwhile, I got Hob here going into Lich again. Unfortunately, looks like we had another wipe. Fortunate to see that flare. That flare just high rolling. One above the monk's HP. Unfortunately, all we have left is a mage. Win condition here, not looking so good if we do get a flare. Probably just hoping for no flare here on Lich. Probably gonna reset reset some steps. Hoping to influence a little bit of the RNG of the game before we head back in. Unfortunate. Another no-win condition, unfortunately, for this. Very hard with that flare and the monk's HP being below 300. Makes it very difficult. All we need here is 4 good turns, 2 turns to buff, and 2 turns to punch. We should see a downed Lich. Good turn order, down goes Lich. Alright, and now we're on the volcano floor here. Looks like Preucheu might join us in chat here shortly. This one should be a little bit of an easier fight here for Hob, not having that flare. And hello, Preucheu, GG.
Yes.
How do you feel? How do you feel your run went?
I feel really good. The MF2 was a bit mean, and I was afraid it would be some 8th try, but it was only a 3rd try, and Chaos was so nice after that. So, it was good.
Yeah, not exactly being nice to you, but I think you you got the other end of the other end of it with that really nice first try chaos.
Yeah, Yeah, I know Hab can go for sub 2, so when I started dying on Tiamat 2, I was like, hey, maybe I won't be ahead for so long, but it seems to have a difficult time.
Yeah, I mean a 156. That's lovely to see in a race scenario. I'm not sure what you had on your other races, but always love to see a sub 2, especially one that's just a really nice, almost 155. Really good to see.
My other races were, I think, yeah, one race over 2 hours, the other one were almost the same time, 156, 58.
We're getting reports that your audio is a little low. I turned up his audio a little bit. Can you guys in chat hear him now? Is a little bit better. Can you say something real quick, Preucheu?
Oh yeah, hello? Yeah, yeah, my mic was moved, so maybe the sound was not good. Sorry.
More? Okay. We're just gonna blast here. Alright, we're gonna push her all the way up to 200. Alright, he's the highest we can make him. So, if you can't hear him, I apologize. Let me see if we can turn down Tom's volume a little bit as well. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Alright. So, I guess nice for you since this was a double sudden death, essentially. So now you're going to go into this next race having equal chances. You don't have quite the same uphill battle. Now that you don't have to beat Hab twice in a row, you only have to beat him once now. How are you feeling before? Were you having any nervousness to that, or how did you go about that?
I was not so nervous. Plus, my start was not so bad, so I felt good during the whole race. With I did 1 or 2 training run before today, so they were okay. So I was pretty confident.
Yeah. Also, congratulations on the sub 150. That's a great achievement.
Yeah, thanks.
Always nice to see. Hopefully we get some more. Looks like a lot of our FF1 runners are getting a lot better. We've had a few more sub 2s this week.
Yeah, I see Pookie on the chat. GG for the sub 2.
Let's go ahead and just pay attention to Hab's screen, I guess, for a sec. On Tiamat 2. How are you feeling about the HP levels he has set up right now? I know he was a little bit lower. What's your take of how you want to set up for Chaos in the end? What HPs are you looking for?
During the pools, I tried to reach 380 with my monk, and for this race I got lucky. I mean, my monk was always good with his HP, so it was okay. But I think maybe 330 is okay. It depends.
Okay, so you want to have the high 300s for your monk. Where are you hoping to have your mages set up, like minimum, by the time you reach Chaos?
Well, for Chaos, I don't look at the mage's HP. I focus on the first bosses with the mages. For example, Astos with less than 80 HP is dramatic. And Lich too, if you are in range of an AoE it's really hard. So I try to have good HPs in the first hour, mainly with my mages, and after that I'm like,
Okay.
let's go.
Yeah, and here we go into chaos. I think your philosophy is kind of the same as Shane Zell's. Not really worrying about the mages so much at later game, more just the monk. All right, let's see how Hob does here. Looks. Go ahead.
Oh no, let's go for chaos.
Oh, let's go. Okay. Looks like Hob's gonna decide to do the 2 Giant's Tonics into a Giant's Glove. To do the haste, another Giant's Tonic. Waiting to throw the next potion until turn 3.
No, that's pretty good, no?
Yeah, it's not too bad of a strat. I know there's the 2 main thoughts of either throwing all your Giant's Tonics first, or and then taking your haste the next potion turn, just to avoid this right here, that flare.
I usually do haste on turn 1 when my mage has a low HP, so he can stand a cyclone or a tsunami. But otherwise I go for 3 Giant Tonics first turn.
Yeah, so definitely depending on how it's set up, so you can definitely pivot more.
It seems that I watch my mage's HP.
Yeah, definitely. So he has a 250, almost or 290. How would you set up here? Would you go for 3 Giant's Tonics, or would you also throw a haste during this turn?
Depends, I don't know which mage has haste.
I think he has it on both.
Oh, okay. So I think I go for 3 Tonics.
3 Tonics? Okay.
Yes. He has 2 elixirs and 1 explosion, I guess.
Yeah, I believe so too. Looks like he's throwing some potions. Oh no, that was X-Pot. It's hard to see. Ooh, and that tsunami.
That's okay for now. You don't want to see haste now.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to see haste, but I mean, like yours, you were able to keep that mage up for a long time and get your buff turns pretty fast. It's always nice to have those mages up for a while.
Yeah. Okay. Not this.
4K, yeah, 4K is very nice. Oh, that's unfortunate. Didn't go for that. I think he had 1 more full heal left.
Yeah, I think so.
Chaos punishing that. Not much that could have killed that. I mean, a punch to the face, a flare, or a tsunami or cyclone. But the odds of that are much lower than doing something else. So I kind of understand that decision. But definitely on the riskier side, and Chaos punished Hob here for it. It's unfortunate. Let's talk about bad chaoses, because we just had your good chaos. What's the most amount of time you think you spent on the chaos split before?
Oh, well, I really don't know. I think a week ago I rage quit with plus 20 minutes and I didn't kill him. So
yeah, 20 minutes. Oof.
Yeah. I mean, at the end I was, but it's only a practice run. Stop.
Yeah, practice run, so there's no real downside to resetting there, just ending. Yeah, but 20 minutes, that's pretty rough. I know there's probably almost everybody in the community so far has been pretty close to that number. I know there's been a lot of bad chaoses lately for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Hard to see.
But I'm really lucky in the tournament. I almost killed the chaos first or second try in all my races.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't think we've had too much bad luck on chaos so far. I think a lot of people have had pretty good splits in all regards. Maybe a few tries, but nothing over the top, I don't think yet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you going forward in speedrunning. Do you think you'll try to drive down your 147 time, or you think you're going to leave that there for a little bit and play other games?
Really don't know. I love to run many games, so I don't know if I keep on going on FF1. Plus, I have a new job soon, so I will have less time to run.
Oh, congrats.
Thanks. But yeah, I think during until the end of the tournament, I try to have some good runs going.
You know what your sum of best for times is at this point for your Final Fantasy one?
My summer best is 137.
137. Okay.
But I think there are some splits I'm playing too safe, and I can really show some time. For example, in Water Temple. So
In
it's
what
time to play risky.
what temple? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Water Temple.
Oh, Water Temple.
I just saw I golded my split in this run, but I took many sharks and things, so I don't really understand why it's a gold.
Yeah, I think you had a lot of good encounters there. You were just flying through. I know
Yeah.
for Mount Golub, you got pretty much almost first turn fleas every single time.
Yeah, and I think I had the stairs that canceled the fight.
Oh yeah. You had very nice movement on the second floor. You canceled that, and I think you canceled encounter on the third floor as well by just taking extra steps. Yes. Well, that was significantly fast. I think that you might have broken a 4-minute time for that split, which is usually pretty standard. But yeah, you were just flying. It was crazy. I was talking about some of Hobbs' stuff, and then look over, and you're suddenly like at Malirath. I'm like, okay, wow.
Football having a really good early run in the tournament. I'm always +5 or sometimes +10 at Assos. I wish I had a really good start for once.
Yeah, I mean, if you started off with a bad time, and here you are with a 156, imagine what time you can get in the tournament
Yeah,
with a good start.
yeah, but my early are not what I want, but chaos is nice, so I take chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could have the best run, and then Chaos just hold you up for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Hob here. Looks to got off the haste. We got off the max heal. Mages are down here, but we are past. I think he throws double speed drinks.
Yes.
So we're in a very good spot right here.
Yeah, he needs to heal now.
And there's that elixir. He didn't pick up the other one, so he might actually be in an interesting scenario where he doesn't have 3 full heals, I think. I think he might actually only have 2.
Oh.
I think that's why he didn't heal before on that spot. He just pushed for it.
Yeah, that would explain the previous fights. Okay, one more punch.
Nice. Down goes Chaos. GG Hob.
GG.
With it. 216.02. Alright, and looks like Hob's coming in here. Hello, Hob. GG on your run.
Oh, GG.
Yeah, nothing much to say.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate at the end there. You got held up, and I think ultimately that monk health over your mage health
Yeah.
really kicked you where it hurts.
All in all, there was one mistake I made that I regret at this point, and that's that I actually had the stream up on the second screen. So around the time I was in Siege Shrine, I was like, okay, I actually gotta catch up a bit, and that's why I ran so much. But well, we know how that turned out.
Yeah,
should
that
have
was
just
unfortunate.
should have just stuck to my strategy that I've done every single run instead of trying to adapt to save time. I mean, it worked with saving time. After leaving Kraken, I was still on PB pace. I was still on sub 2 pace. But then, yeah, Tiamat happened. Lich 2 was very, very flare triggered heavy today, and well, chaos. It's classic.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Were you hurting a little bit at the end in Chaos by not having that third restore?
I never got that third restore. I never did ever before. The only times I ever go into Chaos with free restores is if I get an expot drop from Tigers.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just never learned. I roughly know where it is, but like, I wouldn't if I were leaving Dragon Caverns at that moment, I wouldn't even know exactly where the third one would be.
Well, for reference, it's on the other long tile. If you go to the long aisle, if you go further to the west, it's that other long strip at the bottom. You can pick up there, but yeah, I mean, you can definitely make it with 2 full restores, but 3 I think is a lot safer. And
Yeah, I have to say, I would be lying if I expected anything else from today. I knew that I saw that I had a way better start than Preucheu had. That Astos, etc. went amazing for me. I mean, I suddenly saved a minute on Earth Cavern that I still don't know where that even came from. suddenly going from 40 seconds in the reds, 20 seconds to the greens after Vampire, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think both of you hit almost 15 by the early start of the second dive, so you both were in a good spot to just flee the majority. And I think that probably equated a lot towards that time save. You guys had a high level going in to there, but it kind of makes sense. You guys were a few minutes in the red, having not the best starts.
I just knew Preucheu's the better runner here, and unless I actually get really lucky and Preucheu's getting gate kept somewhere, I have little chance of winning here. And I as I said, like, even if my monk would have had a bit better HP, the best I could have do would have been it would have been a 159 here, which wouldn't have even come close. So now I'll just have to hope for my luck on the second round.
Yeah, speaking of the second round, when do you guys think you might schedule that so we can have our viewers
probably
tune in?
before the week is done.
Yeah, that would be great because I'm leaving on Sunday for a week. So yeah, I'd like to do the race before, or it would be the 18th or the 19th.
Oh, we can see. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can make something work still this week.
Okay.
But that's nothing for here to discuss now. That we'll discuss later in Discord.
Yeah.
Yep. So be on the lookout for on the schedule, everyone. If you're looking for the next race, the next one should decide the winner here, either Hab or Preucheu. So I'll look out for that. Do we have any last comments here from Hab or Preucheu?
Not really. Nah. I said my part.
Thanks for the commentary, Captain. And thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, thank you for both of our runners and for SpeedGaming for hosting our tournament. Make sure to tune in and check out that schedule for our next race. Hopefully hear this next week. Until then, y'all take care and have a lovely holidays.